So in fact, in Benjamin Franklin's autobiography, this is all one paragraph. But it seems very clearly to me to break into three parts supporting a thesis. Those three parts are procedural steps, like writing a procedure, how to do something, and each of those steps has 3 steps. I encourage you to read the passage by yourself and see if you agree with me that it breaks into these parts easily. First, we begin with the thesis. The thesis is Benjamin Franklin learned to write very, very well. As I said, he shaped the century in which he lived. And he says, how did I learn to write? Well, I found some writing that was excellent, and I wished to imitate it. I began to imitate it. So this is his thesis, as if he were teaching you how to write English well. Find some writing you think is excellent, and here is your first step. The first step involves keywords, and he breaks this down into 3 parts. At least it seems to me. First, take each sentence and write keywords from that sentence. Second, use the keywords to rewrite the passage by yourself, of course without looking. Third, compare your passage with the original passage and see if you got it right. So that is the first step in Benjamin Franklin's method for learning to write English well. After that, he realized he needed more vocabulary, so the next step was to write in verse. Verses are the lines of a poem, or the lines or lyrics of a song. So now he takes each sentence and writes a verse, not keywords. First step is to write the verse. The second step is to take the verses and try to rewrite the passage. And he does not write a third step here. So let me pause and make an important point. These pictures that we look at are not real. They are meant to help you. Still, I think they can help you quite a lot. It seems to me that Franklin breaks things down into 3s. But sometimes you use 4, sometimes you use 2. That's life. We live in the real world. If you can break them down into 3, that seems to be very strong, as exampled by how Benjamin Franklin organized his own mind through his own writing. And even though he did not write this 3 here, I think it is implied. Of course, after he rewrote the passage, he compared it. Did I get it right compared to the original? So I would say this third step is still there, just implied. So we have a first step with 1, 2, 3 steps, a second step with 1, 2, 3 steps, and a third step. Finally, he began to jumble the entire passage. First, jumble all the ideas in the passage. Second, rewrite the passage from the jumbles. And third, compare with the original and see how you did. Now, between these steps, he uses some transitions, for example, with story structure, where he talks about the problem with his vocabulary. He uses a story here about his own progress and getting better. So he transitions nicely between the steps. He is an artful writer, and he concludes with some qualifications, some further comments about how he conducted this method. Nonetheless, I think this is a strong example of how to organize procedural writing. Take whatever the subject may be, however broad, break it into 3 main parts, and break those into easily manageable parts. And 3 is a strong number.